Welcome to From the Shed End podcast with myself, T.Dot. As always, thank you very much for joining me now. Where do I start with this one? The word consistency, quality, I think those are the two things. Taking our chances is just something we're not doing. You know, I called it, I said 1-1 in the match preview a couple of days ago, but 20 plus shots, we should not be coming out of that with a point. We should be walking away with 3 points. I thought Tuchel got the lineup spot on. I think, you know, you can't really argue with the lineup that we had. Rudiger coming in. I potentially would have had Chalobah in the back line as maybe instead of Azpilicueta, but captain, of course, you know, you want him to play 200 game as captain as well. You know, you can't really fault that from Azpilicueta, and he had a good game as well. But Reece James, Alonso, the amount of space that both Alonso and Reece James had in the first half, especially, you know, Telles and Dalot were just not covering. They weren't marking. You know, Reece James literally, they basically said, do what you want. Do what you want. We're not going to mark you. And the amount of times he crossed the ball into the box, the amount of times he was in the final third, causing some sort of issues for United's defence. I mean, we just didn't take our chances. We were just poor taking the chances. And you got to remember, this is a United team without Sancho, without Cavani, without Paul Pogba, without Harry Maguire. It's a team that just looked disorganised, disorientated, and we just didn't capitalise on that. You know, Rashford looked poor. I liked Alanga, thought he was a live wire for United. And Ronaldo, you know, 37 years of age and still been able to keep up and compete in this league at that age as a striker. You have to take your hat off to him, but it's just the same stuff over and over again. You know, the fact that we don't keep the ball, you know, our retention of the ball is bad, you know, and not throughout the whole game, but there was moments, and the worst thing was it's moments when it mattered. You know, I think it's Kante who loses the ball that leads up to the Ronaldo goal, but it's just times where, you know, sometimes we are very sort of defensive in terms of our passing. We don't go forward as much as I think we should. You know, Kante and Jorginho had the luxury of doing that in a game against United where, you know, they're just out of form. They're a poor team for me, in my opinion, but we just didn't take our chances. We weren't clinical. And this is what I said a few weeks ago about having someone who's clinical in front of goal, a Benzema, Haaland, Lewandowski, someone who's clinical in front of goal. You know, we spoke about this a lot last season. We mentioned as much as, you know, we've got the team, we've got Havertz, we've got Werner, you know, we've got all these good players, Pulisic, Hakim Ziyech, who I potentially would have brought on in the second half. But we've got all these players, but we don't have a clinical goal scorer. And we spoke about it last season, the season before that, I think, as well. You know, we could go on and on. You know, we just haven't replaced so many key players, and I keep drumming this into these videos. So many key players, John Terry, Cesc Fabregas, even Juan Mata, you know, when we had him at Chelsea, Eden Hazard, Diego Costa, Didier Drogba. These are players, Frank Lampard, another one. They're players that we just never replaced. We never replaced. You know, you look at Timo Werner, you look at Kai Havertz, and I'm not singling them out, but we're still trying to embed them into a team that they should be embedded in. They should be part of the team. They should be. Again, it goes back to that consistency, but they should be part of the team and look like a team going forward. And this is where we've stumbled, you know, the last couple of seasons. I think we've stumbled across, issues, because if you look at Liverpool or even Man City, but mainly Liverpool, you look at Diego Jota, you look at Diaz, who they've just signed, they've slotted right into the team. They look like they've been playing in the team for years with Mane and Salah. Whereas we're still trying to work out where to put Timo Werner. We still look like they almost feel like new signings still, and they're not. They've been here long enough. They should be able to. That link up play should be there. You know, they made the right runs. I'll give them that. You know, I thought even Lukaku, when he came on, he made the right runs. And sometimes it's just looking up for that pass, and we just didn't do that enough yesterday. We didn't do that. We were wasteful in front of goal. It should have been 3, maybe 4-0 in the first half alone. I think we had enough opportunities to score. We just didn't take them, you know. And then when you get the first goal, I mean, the Alonso, who again we shouldn't be relying on. We should not be relying on Reece James or Alonso or our midfield players to keep scoring these goals. But they're turning up, they're doing it. But what a goal from Alonso. It was a good goal, decent goal. But then again, minutes later, we concede. We let United back in for silly mistakes. Another silly mistake, and losing the ball in a crucial area of the pitch, allowing Ronaldo that space and time on the ball. It's very much like Benzema in the Champions League. If you allow these players of that quality, that time, that amount of space, they will take it. And I said this only last week, that if you give players like that the amount of time to do something, they're going to do something. And we got to see it again last night. It was just the same performance as what I've been talking about for the last couple of weeks. But one thing I do want to point out, and again, I don't want to say this is the reason why we didn't get the 3 points or it would have changed the game, but I do think the consistent or inconsistency of VAR is evident. It's so clear now how we didn't get even a red card or a card. I don't think Matic even got booked for stamping on Reece James. There was an incident at the game, a reverse fixture at Stamford Bridge, and Harry Maguire. It was the same thing. I think there's got to be a lot of reviews around VAR and how it's used and how it's utilised, because Mike Dean's got a clear view of Matic stamping on Reece James, and he just doesn't do anything. He just doesn't do anything. There's afters as well, but that's not why we didn't get the 3 points. The reason we didn't get the 3 points is because we didn't take our chances. We allowed United that one opportunity. I think they had 4 shots altogether throughout the game, but we allowed United to just have that one chance. And even at the back end of the game, 10, 15 minutes left in the game, they started trying. They actually wanted to try and win the game. So for me, I said the other day, my mind was already on Sunday's game. I think that's a massive game with Everton. I think Everton are down there. They're in the mud. They're playing for their survival in the Premier League. It's a big game. So that's more of an important game for me in terms of we've got to get 3 points now. I still think we'll get top 3. I think we'll still be third in the league come the end of the season. But I just think to get that wrapped up before the FA Cup final, and also the FA Cup final, Liverpool would have been licking their lips at that performance yesterday, because we were creating chances and just not taking them. And the difference between us and Man City and Liverpool is they take their chances, they score goals, and we just don't do it enough. We've got a poor record at Old Trafford. I didn't expect us to win 4-5-0, but we had the opportunity to do that last night. And I just think those are the games that separates us from Man City, from Liverpool. We're nowhere near that team or Man City's team. We're nowhere near it. Nowhere near it. We should be. The amount of money we spent, we should be competing for the Premier League every single season. We should be competing for the Premier League. We should be trying to win the Champions League every single season. But it's performances like the Real Madrid performance. It's a performance like West Ham where we're scraping the 3 points. It's last night's performance why we can't be in the conversation with Liverpool and Man City at the moment. We can't. You want to hope the new owners, when they come in, potentially they might want to bring in a marquee signing, stamp their sort of authority, get the fans on board. You'd hope they might want to do that. But if they don't, this team is the team. And if I'm honest, I think the priority for the owners and for Chelsea potentially would be defenders. You look at Rudiger, you look at Christensen, Azpilicueta's coming to the age where he might start featuring less. Thiago Silva can't play every game. So I think defenders is probably going to be the key area for Chelsea coming the summer if we can sign players. But for me, that team that we've got up front, Mason Mount, Hakim Ziyech, Christian Pulisic, I bang on about them all the time. All the time I bang on about them. And this is a team that for me still looks like it doesn't flow. There's no cohesion. And it just seems very disjointed. And it shouldn't be. The team Werner and Havertz, they've played together. They've played together so much that they should be on the same page with Mason Mount. The link up play should be there. Everything, the cohesion should be there between all 3 of those players and with the midfield as well. But it's definitely 2 points massively dropped against a team where they're there for the taking, Man United. they were there for the taking. They had injuries, even with the team they had out. McTominay, Lindelof in defence, Telles and Dalot. They're not really good. They're not good defenders. I think De Gea made some really good saves, but they're just not good defenders. Havertz has a one-on-one with De Gea and he doesn't score. Reece James hitting the post. I think Rudiger had a chance when it's probably still travelling now. These are the things that we have to change in the summer. We have to stop being so wasteful in front of goal, because eventually what will happen is we'll become a team that can't compete for the league, that can't compete for the Champions League, and we'll become a team that is just literally like Arsenal, like Tottenham, fighting it out for top 4. We will. So I just think, based off last night's performance, I don't think there's a need to do any player ratings. For me, everyone had a relatively good game. I just think in front of goal, we have to be clinical. We've got to be clinical in front of goal, and if we can't do that, then of course we are gonna drift away from Liverpool and Man City, because they don't waste that many chances. They don't need 2 or 3 or 5 chances to score 1 goal. And last night we like I said, we had a lot of possession of the ball. We battered Man United. We had 20 plus shots on in total. Not sure how many on target, but we've got to be taking these chances. We have to take these chances. We have to take them. We've got our FA Cup final in 2 weeks. And if we play how we did last night in that final, we may as well not turn up. Because the same thing happened in the League Cup final. Yes, we should have had a penalty. Yes, we played very well, but we didn't take our chances. Mason Mount hit the post as well. There's so many different opportunities for us to actually win something. This time round, we have to be spot on. And for me, I'd love to get the Premier League, the sort of the top 4, the Champions League 3rd place. I would love to get that wrapped up before we can actually get into that final. I think we need 7 points now from our remaining games, so it's doable. But yeah, we've got to play better than we did last night. It's just not good enough. It's poor. But on to Sunday, big game against Everton. I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping for a better performance. There's been 2 performances now where we just look flat and deflated. So I'm looking for a more upbeat and a better a sort of reaction to the 2 performances from the squad. We'll have another match review for that coming up as well. But until next time, make sure you subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, let me know your thoughts in the comments as well. I'll be back over the weekend with an Everton review of the game. And of course, we'll have a next podcast episode coming out very soon as well with myself and Theo. But until then, stay safe, have a good bank holiday as well. And let's hope we get 3 points on Sunday against Everton.